This is the video for the Chapter 3 Quiz 2 solutions. So number 1, I'm going to combine these two terms here, and I'm going to get 4D, and I'm going to bring the rest of the terms down. I'm now going to combine these two and get negative 2D. Next, going to add 2D to both sides. And you get negative 8 equals 4D. And divide by 4. You get D equals negative 2. Okay, next we're going to check it. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. Negative 4 times negative 2 is going to be plus 8. Negative 6 times negative 2 is going to be plus 12. Minus 8 equals 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So if we do the math here, these two cancel. And negative 16 and 12 equal negative 4, so it checks. Okay, number 2. We want to get x's on one side, so I'm going to pick this side over here. Subtract 3x from both sides. I get 2x minus 5 equals negative 9. Add 5 to both sides, and we get 2x equals negative 4. Divide by 2, and you get x equals negative 2. Now we're going to check it. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10 minus 5. Does that equal 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6 minus 9? Now be careful here. Negative 15 equals a negative 6. Add the opposite of negative 9, or of positive 9, and you get negative 15, and it checks. Next question says, what are the possible solutions? There's no solution. That's going to be like 5 equals 7. There's identity. And that's like 2 equals 2. And one solution. And that's like x equals 7. Okay, number 4. Steven wants to buy a bicycle for $475. He has no money to save, but he will be able to deposit $50 per week in a savings account. However, before Steve can buy the bike, he must give his sister $75. Okay, and we need W equal weeks. Okay, and then we're just going to solve this. Add 75 to both sides. Divide both sides by 50. We get W equals 11. And the question says, for how many weeks will Stephen need to deposit money? Stephen will need to deposit money for 11 weeks. Question number 5, find the value of y. Let's add 6y to both sides. Oh, I'm sorry, nope, don't do that. We're supposed to combine this 6y and this 4y to get negative 2y plus 14 equals 32. Now subtract 14 from both sides. Okay, you get negative 2y equals 18. And then divide by negative 2. Y equals negative 9. Okay, you're going to run a check here. Plug in our negative 9. Negative 6 times negative 9 is 54. Plus 14 plus negative 36. Does that equal 32? So we'll keep going here. We have 68 minus 36, which is 32. It checks, and the answer is negative 9. Question number 6 is a 55 question. John and 2 friends, so there's a total of 3 people, are going out for pizza for lunch. They split 1 pizza and 3 large drinks. The pizza costs $14. plus the 3 large drinks. The price of the drinks is D. Okay, after using a $7 gift certificate, minus 7, they spend a total of $12.10. And you're going to have to solve for D here to find out the cost of 1 drink. So we're going to combine this and this. We get 3D plus 7 equals 12.10. Subtract 7 from both sides. We get 3D equals 5.10. Divide by 3. 3 goes into 5 once. 1 times 3 is 3. Minus 2, 1. Bring down the 1. 3 goes into that 7. So D equals 1.7. And then to answer our question, we're going to put in what 1.7 means in dollars. So drinks cost $1.70. You also do need to do a check on this. You can do that for homework. Number 7, find the value of x. Well, we have a perimeter here, so this is 3x and this is 3. And you don't have to use the 55 on this, so 24, which is the perimeter, equals 3x plus 3x plus 3 plus 3. If we add those up, we get 24 equals 6x plus 6. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. We get 18 equals 6x. Divide by 6. X equals 3. And they're just asking for what x equals in this question. Next question, number 8. Find the value of A, and then find the marked angles. So we know that these are vertical angles or opposite angles, and they are equal to each other. So we set them equal to each other, and we solve for A. I'm going to pick a side. I'm going to bring A over to the left side. And at the same time, I'm going to subtract 12. And we subtract, and we get A equals 32 minus 12. Okay, we get A equals 20. That answers the first question. Now find the angles. Well, 4 times 20, which is 80, plus 12 would be 92 degrees. And down here, 3 times 20, which is 60, plus 32 is also 92 degrees. So you check here, and you answer question B. Okay, looking at the next question, number 10. Carlos and Maria drove a total of 229 miles in 4.3 hours. Carlos drove the first part of the trip and averaged 55 miles per hour. Maria drove the remainder of the trip and averaged 50 miles per hour. For approximately how many hours did Maria drive? Round your answer to the nearest tenth. Okay, I probably should have made Maria's hours here, but yeah, let's change this to Maria's hours. Okay, is your x value. So we need to equal a distance, and we know distance equals rate times time. So if that's the case, we have a rate and we need a time. So if Carlos drove the first part of the trip and averaged 55 miles per hour, and Maria drove the remainder of the trip and averaged 50 miles per hour, and x is Maria's time, so we can set this up as Carlos driving 55 miles per hour, which is a rate, and we need to multiply that times a time to get a distance. So the time that Carlos drove would be 4.3 hours minus Maria's time. And we're going to add that to Maria's time, or Maria's rate times her time, which we know is x. So we have a distance plus a distance equals 229, which is also a distance. So now we need to solve this. So we're going to take the 55. We're going to take the 55 and distribute it to both of these here. So if we do that multiplication over here, we get 2365, and with 1 decimal point. Now we're going to combine our x's here. That's going to give us negative 5x. And we got to get rid of this 236.5. Okay, so we needed to subtract negative or minus 236.5, or yeah, subtract 236.5 from both sides. Did the math over here. We got 7.5, and that's going to be a negative 7.5. Next, we need to divide both sides by negative 5. And when we do that, we get this answer over here, and we get x equals 1.5. And we know that from the beginning, that's Maria's hours. So Maria drove 1.5 hours. And you still need to do a check on this, and you can do the check for homework. Okay, question number 11 deals with a triangle, or I'm sorry, a rectangle. And we have a rectangle, so you should have drawn a rectangle for this. Then you're going to look at the question. It says the length of the rectangle is 8 more than 3 times the width. So if L equals the length, and W equals the width, we know the width is just W, but L equals 8 more than 3 times the width, 3W, and that's up here also. So that would be your solving. Then we're going to set it up by doing 64, which is the perimeter, and the perimeter equals the W, which is going to add all the way around the outside here. W plus 8 plus 3W plus W plus 8 plus 3W. So there's our setup for Fini 5. Now we're going to solve this. So in solving this, we're going to add up all the W's on this side, which is 4 here, 4 here. So we got 64 equals 8 plus 8 plus 8W. 4, 8 plus 8, okay. And we can just combine those two 8s, get 16 plus 8W. We could have divided everything by 8, but we don't want to get too tricky here. Subtract 16 from both sides. Okay, then we divide both sides by 8. And you get W equals 6. W is 6, and we know L equals 3W plus 8, or 8 plus 3W. So L would equal 3 times 6 plus 8. So L would equal 3 times 6, 18 plus 8 is 26. And then you would have to write your answer out, which again, I'll let you do that for, if you need to write a complete sentence on what L and W are. Actually, I think they're just asking for W. No, they're asking for the dimensions, so you need to write L and W out. And you can go back and check your work up here by putting your W in. And the last question, which most people got right, explain what the error in the student's work. They added 5 here, and they should have distributed the 3 here, or they could have divided by 3. Either way, they forgot to use the distributive property, or they added 5 to both sides, and that is not correct. So you should have watched this video and hopefully corrected your work to be handed in on Tuesday.